Hello, and welcome to the 2022 Heart of Henry. I'm Heather Ricchetto-Rumley, and I'm so glad you've joined us for this special presentation. This year marks the 10th anniversary of the Heart of Henry Awards ceremony. Now, we have some very important people to recognize tonight, and each person or organization we'll be honoring has provided exceptional service to the community and the Tulsa Day Center. Now, an event like this can't happen without sponsors, volunteers, staff, and of course, contributors. Thank you to everyone who worked behind the scenes to make this event possible. First of all, we want to thank Karen Lawhorn for her tireless work as the chair of this year's event. She'll be presenting the Heart of Henry Awards later in the program. But before we begin the presentations of this year's Heart of Henry Awards, we would like to take a moment to thank our diamond sponsors. This past year, we had some important things occur that we want to share. We had our ribbon cutting ceremony officially opening our newly reimagined space, nearly doubling the size of our original facility. We held a live version of our annual Night of Remembrance during the winter solstice, an event that honors those who have perished in our homeless community in the past year. And we know housing ends homelessness. Through Hudson Villas and our rapid rehousing programs, we were able to provide long-term housing to 577 individuals and 157 families. We also prevented 902 individuals and 213 families from becoming homeless. Medical care continues to be a critical need to the homeless population. And in 2021 alone, our clinic provided medical care for 506 unique clients and prevented 232 ER visits, saving the community hundreds of thousands of dollars. As you can see, the Day Center is so much more than a daytime homeless shelter. We'd like to share this short video addressing many of the misconceptions of the Day Center's role in our community and the services it provides. When we come back after the video, I'll be joined by this year's chair, Karen Lawhorn.
Housing ends homelessness. I think most people have misconceptions that we're just a shelter. We've been here over 30-some years now.
Yeah, the biggest misconception is that we're just a day center for days only, and we are here 365 days. We do not close. That's another misconception, that we close. We're open all the time.
I've actually heard this before from people in the community, and it's that the Day Center is a big place that enables people. We're big enablers, and actually we're not. We're actually a place for people to come in and talk to other people, get the services they need.
So when someone new comes to us that's experiencing homelessness, or to be an individual or a family, we sit down with them and make sure, first of all, that they feel like they're in a safe place. We want to be sure their safety is our concern. We also want to know kind of what their situation was. What caused you to become homeless?
And that's what they want to tell. They want to tell their story. They want to explain how they ended up in this situation of homelessness.
My goal is to try to keep them, one, out of the ER, but to try to get them the assistance they need to keep them healthy. Because if they're healthy, then they can be housable, which will make them sustainable in their housing.
We're more than a shelter, right? We have services available. We have permanent supportive housing. We have our own apartment complex. We have our clinic, a rapid rehousing program that's federally funded that helps people turn around from being homeless in a very rapid way. That's rapid rehousing. We don't want people to be homeless long with that program.
Our hope is that we can meet their immediate needs and that we can get a plan and get them out of the day center, out of homelessness, and into their own place. And that's what we're doing.
People think all homeless people are lazy and that they don't want to do anything. Growing up, that was a misconception I had, that homeless people are lazy and they don't want to work. And then when I come to work here in the homeless community, I realize that it's not that they don't want to work. A lot of them don't have the skills to keep a job, to even apply for a job.
The most misunderstood thing about homelessness would be that people want to be homeless. I don't believe that. I've been doing this for 10 years. I have not seen that. I know given the time and connections that you make and relationships that you build with people that are experiencing homelessness, once they realize that they have somebody in their corner that will walk alongside them, that they are more than willing and want to find their own place to live.
But I think the perception oftentimes is for the people is that's their problem, not my problem. Well, it's all of our problems. It really is. We need to help people get in their own place. And we have to be aware of people's needs. Yeah, sometimes they get in their own situations. I get that. We all make mistakes, no doubt. But we want at the Tulsa Day Center, we want to project some hope to them that they don't have to be in this situation. Might take some time, might take some effort on their part, definitely, but also just to really work on their situation, and we're there to help to do that.
Now I'm joined by Karen Lawhorn, this year's Heart of Henry Chair. Welcome, Karen.
Thank you, Heather. It's great to be here. I'm excited about tonight's awards. We have two very deserving individuals and a wonderful Tulsa organization to honor.
You're so right, Karen. And as the Day Center grows and the need for services increases, the reliance on our community support and volunteers is more vital than ever.
In 2021, 551 people stepped up to volunteer their time to serve meals, sort clothes, sit and chat with guests, and provide medical care. We have so many wonderful volunteers. It is with great pleasure that I present to you this year's Volunteer of the Year, Laura Bloomfield.
Laura, you're so worthy of this award, and I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. You make me want to be a better provider just through the work that you do, your generosity, and your knowledge base. Laura Bloomfield started with us back in 2008 as a registered nurse. She volunteered at our clinic and would come periodically to serve our clients. She had a passion then, decided she would like to go back to school and become a nurse practitioner, so she did that. Recently, in the last 2 years, she called and said, hey, can I come back and volunteer with you guys? And I was like, sure. And she's been with us ever since. What Laura brings to the table and what makes her worthy of this award is that she is smart, she is funny, she is insightful, but I really appreciate her professional support that she's provided during this hard time with the COVID. Laura comes in, she's got a great attitude, she's very positive, she has the gift of serving. She's very insightful with the clients. She spends a lot of time with them. I've got clients that come back and want to see her because they appreciate the fact that she spends time with them and she genuinely cares for them. She works great with the team. She's always looking up things. She's been very helpful as far as looking at the data collection, how we do it, working on our outcomes, ideas that will make us more efficient, better able to serve this client population. Words cannot express how much I really appreciate you. You're so worthy of this award. Thank you.
Laura, you always go the extra mile. Even through the height of the COVID pandemic, you stuck it out and continued to provide care to our clients. It is my privilege to present you with this year's Volunteer of the Year Award.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you very much. This is really an honor. I grew up in Tulsa, and I know what the Zero family has meant to organizations like the Day Center and other groups in town. So thank you very much for this, and thank you for the opportunity to volunteer at the Day Center. Your support allows us to really take very good care of the clients who we see, so thank you as well.
Congratulations, Laura. And thank you to the many volunteers who made the commitment to serve. Without you, it wouldn't be possible to do all that we do. The success of the Day Center has always been in the strength of this community's involvement and investment. And one of the things we enjoy the most is recognizing those whose actions exemplify the spirit of Henry Zero. His spirit of giving and serving is why the center is such a wonderful part of our community.
The Heart of Henry Community Awareness Award is given in recognition of outstanding service to people in need in the Tulsa area. This year's Community Awareness Award goes to a woman who is always looking for ways to connect those in need with organizations and people who have the ability to help them. I can't think of anyone more fitting for this award than Becky Frank.
Becky is a role model for all of us in this community. She's someone that we all look up to, somebody that we call upon when we have needs.
Becky's warm, she's kind, she brings a lot of humor to really deep and intense conversations about things that we're facing in Tulsa, and she's always generous with her time and her expertise.
I definitely always grew up with my mom giving of herself. She has done that her entire life, to me, obviously, but to everybody. It's something that I've always seen. She's always thinking about how to help people.
As a social worker, as CEO of Mental Health Association, whether it was fundraising, it was a board relations strategy, those types of things, community strategy when we were trying to do some advocacy work, I could call on Becky, and Becky was always a welcome and listening ear, and I have enormous respect and love for Becky Frank.
Becky's a really key part, not just of the Housing Solutions Board, but of the entire Away Home for Tulsa community. And Becky is really a common thread through all of those agencies. She supports us in connecting us to the broader corporate community. She helps volunteer. She helps tell the stories of the clients that we serve.
We were walking, and I remember going by a little downtown park, kind of nestled in between all the activity going on there. And she noticed as we were walking through that the benches had been removed. The work just started right then of pulling out the phone, who's getting calls, like how can we help this? Because she knows that these people deserve the dignity of a place to sit as a basic decency for humanity.
Becky Frank is fierce in her defense of people experiencing homelessness. She sees them as neighbors. She learns their story and interacts with them, and that's a really rare quality in someone.
In everything Becky does, says, believes, lives, it all is tied so closely to the heart of Henry.
So Becky, congratulations on receiving this award. I can't think of somebody who is more deserving, or somebody who has really given all of their heart, just like Mr. Henry did, to this community and to this cause of ending homelessness in our community. And I'm so thankful that you've chosen to be a supporter of Housing Solutions and all of the time and heart that you give to Away Home for Tulsa every day.
You absolutely make not only Tulsa, but the whole community that you touch so much better and so much happier. I love you so much.
Becky, your dedication to the Tulsa Day Center and meeting the needs of our clients knows no limits. It's an honor to be able to recognize your many years of service in making a difference in so many people's lives. I'm very pleased to present this year's Community Service Award to you, my friend.
Thank you, Karen. This means a great deal to me. I have such fond memories of times with Mr. Henry and with Dave Henschel back in the 80s when I was working at United Way, when they were just starting Tulsa Day Center with Tulsa Metropolitan Ministries, and they would go to Walmart and get carts and carts of supplies to take to help the individuals in the community who needed it. And when you think about how it's come full spectrum here to where we are today with this beautiful new building that treats the clients with such respect, with all of the light and the glass, and it's just such a wonderful environment. So I thank you. This means so much to me.
Well, congratulations, Becky. And we so appreciate your heart and your passion in lifting up those around you. Thank you. And it's that kind of community involvement that's part of what makes living in this city a very special place to live. And in fact, Tulsa is one of the most philanthropic cities in America. Much of that can be attributed to people like Henry Zero, who are driven with a heart of passion and generosity. And it's in recognition of this spirit that we give out the Heart of Henry Award each year.
This year's recipient of the Heart of Henry Award is an organization that exemplifies all that Heart of Henry represents through their continuing interfaith work for the people of Tulsa. Tonight, we honor Tulsa Metropolitan Ministry.
And many people don't realize that in addition to organizations like Youth Services of Tulsa and Meals on Wheels, the Tulsa Day Center was actually started by Tulsa Metropolitan Ministry in 1986. Their work with the interfaith community enabled them to respond to the growing needs of the homeless population right here in Tulsa.
The
mission of Tulsa Metropolitan Ministry is for the faithful community of Tulsa to come together and to solve issues in our community related to our citizens as a whole from a faith perspective.
The impetus behind TMM's mission is and flows from its non-judgmental view of the world and the people that it's serving.
I really saw the values of TMM being translated into the Day Center in its early operations. That was very clear. The Day Center was the first organization in my memory to refer to what we normally call clients as guests.
We believe that those same values that existed at the inception of the Tulsa Day Center are still there currently.
Community and faith spirit, I think, still lives in the Day Center because of the roots it had with TMM.
TMM has had a tremendous impact on our community. So many programs have been started through Tulsa Metropolitan Ministry, and as we've seen, once they've become successful standalones, we have been able to support them enough for them to be able to grow and thrive on their own.
TMM is the faith-based organization in the city of Tulsa that coordinates all the different churches and congregations of those churches to support these very important social service needs.
As we see the beautiful day center that we have now and all the hundreds and hundreds of community members that it serves daily, we are so grateful for the work that we've been able to do with them.
Tulsa Metropolitan Ministry has a long history of starting nonprofits. In the last 85 years, they have been the driving force behind many of Tulsa's most impactful service organizations, and that work continues to this day. The Tulsa Day Center wouldn't be here without them. I can't think of another organization more deserving of the Heart of Henry Award than Tulsa Metropolitan Ministry. Here to accept the award is Reverend Chris Moore, President of the TMM Board, and Aaliyah Shimmy, Executive Director.
Thank you so very much.
In 1986, when the Tulsa Metropolitan Ministry Day Center opened in a 4,000 square foot warehouse, nobody who's currently on the board was even involved with the organization. So on behalf of the many who've come before us and the many who will come after to continue our work, we want to say thank you. We also want to pledge our commitment to continue to not only be a founding organization, but one that works with the Day Center to this day, doing the important work that you do in the city of Tulsa. Thank you very much.
We so appreciate that commitment. And again, congratulations, Chris and Aaliyah. We are so fortunate here in Tulsa to have a great organization like Tulsa Metropolitan Ministry. They provide services right here in our community that we simply couldn't do without. We hope this year's presentation has been both insightful and inspiring. We ask for your help in sharing the Tulsa Day Center's mission to provide hope for the homeless. We need you, your family, friends, and others in our community to raise awareness together of our mission, services, and the significant impact of the Tulsa Day Center. Your knowledge sharing, advocacy, and support, along with that of our partners, will help us to meet the challenges ahead, bringing hope, housing, and restoration to those in need in our community. Be sure to stay up to date on the Tulsa Day Center and all we do throughout the year by following us on social media. Thank you for joining us tonight, and special thanks and our gratitude to those honored this evening.